Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. I'm Ross Benjamin. As always, I'm joined by my cohort, Mr. Chip Chirimbus, who now is in South Florida, has been for a couple months now. He goes between Las Vegas and South Florida.
Mhm.
Hey, you got to envy somebody who lives in those climates. So, in any event, Chipper, how
Yes.
are you today? And by the way, folks, we're recording on Friday, the 23rd of April, and we're going to be giving you free picks in the NBA at the end of the show. So stay tuned. We're only going to do about 10, 12 minutes with you. So we're not going to keep you long because
Right.
we got things to do as well. Chipper, I'm
Yes.
sorry. How are you?
I'm great, Ross, and I know you're rolling in the NBA. I keep seeing your name pop up on all the leaderboards around the country. I haven't been so bad myself in the NBA, 25 and 13 in the last 38. I'm pretty happy with that. And in baseball, we had a great run, Ross, with our mega buck winners. Our best bets were 13 and 2 until we had that rainout situation in Cincinnati. We had Arizona, who actually left the field, Ross, with a 5-4 lead
Yep.
when the rains came, and the bookmakers decided that was a loser.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
you want to tell everyone why?
Well, here's the thing. Even though it's a suspended game that will be continued and was continued the
Right,
following day, the sports books don't do it that way
right,
because here's the thing. In this particular instance, it was continued the following day. What if, for example, um, they weren't going to play the following day and they weren't going to meet for another 3 months or so, 2 months, even
right.
a month, even? The sports books aren't going to allow a bet to hinge that long
Yeah,
or not rule on a bet that long because it's not fair to the bettor, and B, it's not, there's uh, too much confusion when it comes to
yeah.
this type.
They don't want to hold the ticket for 60
Yeah,
days and something along and they're not geared for it because they're geared for putting in all the final scores.
right.
Now, Russ, this wouldn't have bothered me so much if Major League Baseball hadn't changed the rules in recent years because of what happened in the playoffs when the rains came and the team had scored in this exact same situation. And the situation was at the end of 7 innings, Cincinnati was winning 4-3 in the top of the eighth. Arizona scored two
Yep.
runs, had the bases loaded, went ahead 5-4, and the rains came. Now, previously, if that game was called for rain, Cincinnati would have won 4-3, as the bookmakers determined that they were the gambling betting winner. Major League Baseball decided that game is not final and that it's now being suspended and being continued later on.
Yeah.
But the bookmaker has to make a decision right there. I was hoping that they would say no go, it's no play. But other people benefited, didn't they, Ross?
Yes,
But
they
anyway, that
did,
was good.
including yours truly right
Yeah.
here. But yeah, to explain that further, okay, and be more explicit,
Go ahead.
um, Cincinnati was winning the game 4-3 after 7 innings. The Arizona Diamondbacks came up in the eighth. They took the lead 5-4. They had the bases loaded with one out,
Right.
and there was just a torrential downpour. And the umpires really wanted the game to continue, but Cincinnati kept delaying. The manager came out and argued with the umpires. Finally, the umpires gave in. They suspended the game. Now, going back to what Chip says, um, I don't think the sports books, I'm going to have to disagree. I don't think the sports books ever would have ruled Cincinnati as a winner. It might have been a no play, but now in recent years, and it may be even over the
Oh,
last 20
no,
years,
well, you mean in the past it would have been a final
for
4-3,
and Major League Baseball standards.
right? And
But as
that's what the
far as the
bookmakers
sports
paid off
books
on.
go,
Yes,
when a game gets suspended in the top of an inning, and the home team hasn't had a chance to
right.
hit in that inning, and the home team had the lead at the end of the previous inning, the home team gets to win.
Yeah, it's the last
Think about
completed
it
inning.
rationally, okay? Um, when was the last time you saw a visiting team take the lead in the top of the inning and win the game? It's just against baseball integrity.
Yeah,
But so they have to rule one way or the
right.
others. And Chip, when that happened, I know you called me and you were a little bit upset, rightfully so. It's a hell of a way to lose, especially when you have it as a top play. But at the end of the day, it's been that way for a while. And the only reason I knew the rule, Chip, because it went against me last year on one occasion.
Well,
Otherwise, I would have thought I lost the game as well.
a very unique situation, and I
Yes.
understand what the sports books are doing, and I understand they want a final score in that day. They don't want to come over with a ticket. The last full completed
Right.
innings. So
It's really
right.
fair because
that's the way it is.
Way.
I would have loved for them to say, okay, you got no action, but that's the way it goes. And that's why we call it gambling, Ross. But
So having said that,
yeah,
that I am now 8-1 with my last 9 baseball picks,
there you go.
including that Cincinnati winner, and I'm currently number 5 in the country in Major League Baseball right now with a 21-13 record, and my average money line on my 34 picks is -107, folks. I don't give out big chalks. Chipper's the same way. Like to stay mostly -30 or less for a favorite. And then, of course, if you get an underdog value, you take it.
Right.
Unfortunately, a lot of bettors, Chipper, and customers, and I'm sure you could vouch for it, don't appreciate how hard it is to pick a Major League Baseball underdog winner. So
Well, one of the problems is, I'm out here running around with other people that like to play these games.
Yeah.
And they think nothing of laying $1.60, $1.80. And why would anyone want our services? We're going to give them games that they can bet on their own. They can bet $1.80 favorite. They don't need for me to give them Jacob deGrom. They can bet Jacob deGrom on their own. So we have to avoid those games, because people ask me about, well, what about that? And I say, well, I just eliminate them. I don't even look at them unless I see possibility of an underdog play. We had one this week with the Brewers against San Diego when Musgrove, the pitcher's no hitter,
yes.
came in, but regardless, we have to eliminate a lot of those games. So it does make it tougher because I'm not going to give you a 2-1 favorite. It's not going to happen.
And you're not gonna really take a 200+ underdog seriously.
Rarely.
A, from your own personal betting, and B, giving it to a client, because history will show in Major League Baseball, those teams are somewhere around between 10 and 15% winners. Now, having said that, if you go into the baseball betting archives and you look up a big sample size, say going back to 1990, I think you're going to see any Major League Baseball favorite of 175 or more. Yeah, they're going to hit around 65%, but they're going to lose money, And so that's the thing. You lose one of those games, folks. In order to make a profit, you got to win 2, possibly the next 3 to do that. So you don't need it.
Sometimes you're laying 220 or more.
Yeah.
But let's make some money in basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, my NBA, on fire all season long, Chip. A little bit of a slow start, but since then, 63-38 with my last 101 NBA selections this season, including 24-9 with my last 33 in all sports, which right now includes Major League Baseball and the NBA, since I haven't dabbled with the NHL and I won't till the playoffs. 12-3 with my last 5, 45-25 with my last 70. That's good for 64%, Chip. So in any event, you need to spend a little and you'll make a lot in either at chipwins.com or at rbwins.com. Chip, what do you got for us in the NBA tonight?
An interesting game, and people may not think of it as such because I have one team's a drag and the other team is struggling right now. Cleveland is going to Charlotte, and a kind of unique anomaly with this game. Cleveland, who can't beat anyone, right? I mean, since LeBron James left, they've been absolutely horrid. 14-6-1 against the number when playing Charlotte, and that includes 6-1 at Charlotte against the number. So Cleveland seems to have the Hornets number for some reason. Cleveland's coming off a really bad loss at home. I expect them to bounce back, and they are 7-2, Ross, against teams with losing records, ATS, their last 9 times out. So I just think Cleveland has a little mojo over the Hornets, and the Hornets have won 1 of their last 7. So I'm going to take Cleveland here. And Cleveland, I think, opened up a 1-point dog, and I said, that seemed really, it caught my attention that the bookmaker saying Cavaliers, in order to win the bet, have to win the game on the road. So I don't think they're giving you a present when they make the Hornets look so inviting.
Okay, and you're taking Cleveland.
Cleveland.
And
Yes,
what
absolutely.
line do you have right now?
I saw +2, and I
Okay.
expect it to go up. I mean, when the day started, I think it was pick 'em -1 in around there. But this is a flucturating situation,
Sure,
and
sure.
particularly in the NBA. But
Yeah.
I'll take the points with Cleveland, and I think they're the side tonight. I think the
Okay.
bookmakers kind of tell you they're the side.
Chipper likes Cleveland plus the 2 at Charlotte. Yeah, Charlotte's not been the same team. I think it's no coincidence that their latest failures that you alluded to coincide with their point guard LaMelo Ball going down with an injury. So they haven't been the same team since he went down with an
He's
injury.
coming back soon.
Yeah. So keep an eye on that because they seem like they're a whole different team, especially offensively with him on the floor. In any event, I'm going to take a look at the Denver at Golden State game and talk about an interesting situation here. We got a Denver team that's gone 21-5 in their last 26, Chip. Yet they're just a 2-point favorite against a sub 500 team in Golden State. And Denver has won 4 in a row, but their last 2 have come by a combined 3 points over Memphis and Portland. So they've been taken down to the wire. Took is not a word. Anyway, in Golden State, they're coming off a 3-2 road trip, Chip, that could have very easily been 5-0,
Yeah.
if not for the fact they lost 2 of their last 3 on that trip. And the one loss at Boston, they were up 109-101 with a little over 4 minutes to play, and they got outscored 16-3 down the stretch. Then they led Washington in their previous game. They had a 106-93 lead with 6 minutes to play, only to be outscored 25-8 down the stretch. So a little bit of fatigue, I think, set in there. And by the way, Stephen Curry probably had his worst game in quite a while in the last game. I expect him to bounce back.
Okay.
Golden State 4-1 straight up in ATS in their last 5 at home. As a matter of fact, their last home game they played before the road trip was against Denver. And they won that game 116-107 as a 5.5-point dog. I'm going to take Golden State here, Chip, plus the 2 over Denver. It just, I think they're begging you to take the better team on paper. Denver is a short favorite. I'm going to go with a contrarian approach here. Golden State plus 2 over Denver for me. Chipper's on Cleveland plus 2 at Charlotte. Last week we went 2-0. If you were with me yesterday, I cashed in with the Memphis game going under 210. So again, those are our 2 picks for today. Chip, any final thoughts before we sign off?
Well, you're saying Curry's coming off of a subpar performance. And, before that, he had 5 straight games where he was averaging over 55% from 3-point range. And I expect him to gain his shooting touch again tonight. So
yeah, and better than 40 points per game, too. So
yeah, he's been absolutely outrageous. And he's carrying that team by himself. And I was kind of surprised about the games they lost with a guy like Curry in the lineup. He's, in my mind, he's either going to get to the line or going to make some kind of points. So it's surprising to me that the Golden State blew those 2 games the way they did.
Yeah, it shows the youth on that team.
Yeah.
Curry's a veteran and Draymond Green's a veteran, but other than that,
they lost their center.
Yeah, their team is very, very young. And in any event, again, check out our websites, rbwins.com, chipwins.com. Chip's been on fire in Major League Baseball and the NBA, and I certainly have as well. Right now, I'm ranked number 4 in North America in the NBA by Sports Capping, and I'm pretty close to being number 2. I just need a winning day, and the other 2 guys a losing day. That close. Anyway, Chip, always a pleasure, buddy. Have a great weekend. Good luck with all your picks. And folks, for Chip Chirimbus and Ross Benjamin, I'd like to wish each and every one of you all the very best. Good luck and God bless.
Thank you, Ross.